You're watching Oilers Nation Everyday with Tyler Yaremchuk. Your one-stop shop for all things Oilers.
The Oilers versus empty nets. I haven't seen a mismatch this bad since Waz at the craps table. Let's get into it with the lead. I don't know how much longer I can milk that one, but I got one more show out of it. Welcome into Oilers Nation Everyday. We are live, as always, from the Sports Closet studio. From jerseys to hats to the legendary foam finger, you'll find it all and more at the Sports Closet. Check them out online, sportscloset.ca. The show is a presentation of Bet365. You can download the app and use the promo code NATION. Whatever the moment, it is never ordinary at Bet365. As always, it's Tyler, it's Liam, it's the YouTube chat. It's a Friday.
How exciting.
Yeah.
You could use this WAS one on Monday, too. You could be like, can you say what you said again, just so I don't want to mess it up?
The Oilers versus an empty net?
Yeah. Haven't seen a worse mismatch since WAS versus the craps table. You can do Oilers beating up on the LA Kings. Haven't seen a bigger mismatch since WAS versus the craps table. Could work on Monday.
Could work on Monday. Big game for the Oilers
you can do it Tuesday.
Tomorrow.
Oilers versus the Ducks. Haven't seen a bigger mismatch.
Don't they play on Monday or do they play Tuesday?
They play Monday. Yeah,
Monday.
so you would have to use it Tuesday.
Yeah. Yep. Hope everyone liked my drawing. Can you tell it's an empty net?
Yep.
Maybe put this one up in the room right over the chop wood carry water sign from Dallas Eakins. Just pop that in there. The Oilers beat the San Jose Sharks 3-2 last night because, of course, they couldn't cover a puck line. Not that it would have mattered. I took them -2.5.
I had puck line. I had over 3.5 goals in a parlay with Bouchard, Wallman, and Draisaitl all to get a point.
Everything I bet had Draisaitl in it. Got hurt. So I live bet before the third period, Nuge to score and the Oilers to cover the puck line, thinking Nuge could get an empty netter. Didn't. So, yeah, that was a disappointing finish last night for the Oilers, but regardless, they got the 2 points, and what makes it even more interesting is how the out-of-town scoreboard broke, because you really had to hold on for those 2 points. First off, the LA Kings came back and won in the third period against Utah. It was looking like it was going to be a perfect night for the Edmonton Oilers, and then the LA Kings came back in the third period against Utah. So they stay 2 points back of the LA Kings, and remember, the Oilers do not hold the tiebreaker over either the Kings or the Vegas Golden Knights. Edmonton won way too many games in overtime this year. They did not win enough in regulation, so they don't have the tiebreaker. Vegas lost, though, which does make this whole thing a little bit interesting, especially when you go, and I'll fire up Tankathon here. Vegas' schedule is only really getting more difficult. They have Colorado, and then, listen, I know Vancouver's not playing great, but they're still in the playoff hunt. Calgary is still in the playoff hunt. They play each of those teams 2 more times than they do get Nashville and Seattle. Edmonton's schedule, again, has the 2 games against the Kings, which are going to be massive. Winnipeg once, St. Louis once, then 2 more against San Jose, and a game against the Ducks. I do not believe the division is within reach because the Oilers don't hold the tiebreaker. If they held the tiebreaker, I'd maybe feel a little bit differently about this. But it adds a lot more pressure onto these 2 head-to-head games against LA, because if you basically lose one of them, if you let one of them go to OT, you're maybe okay with an OT win. But if you lose one of these games in regulation, you are not catching the LA Kings. And now it's even more interesting because of the 4-point swings last night. If you lose both of them to LA, you actually might be getting Vegas in round 1, which I don't think you want.
Yeah, the path isn't looking so great for Edmonton, especially like in the hypothetical world. Everything goes perfectly for them, and they win in first in the division, and then they face the red-hot St. Louis Blues. Yeah. So not ideal there either. But, yeah, it's a difficult run for them, but they just have to take care of their own games ahead of them. Obviously, those 2 LA games are huge. You still have 2 more against San Jose. I know they gave you a bit of trouble, but it's a fairly soft schedule. Winnipeg, you almost beat the other day without McDavid and Draisaitl.
Correct.
And they've been slumping a little bit. I know they won last night, but they've not exactly. Hellebuck hasn't been as Hellebucky as he can be.
Yeah, last night's shutout win was an Eric Comrie start.
Yeah, shout out the brick. That's huge.
Yeah, relevant. We're a Douglas mattress company, but that's okay.
Well, I suppose. They can do this. I don't know how they do it, but they can. I believe. I'm a believer.
Hell yeah, you are. All right, we got a lot of stuff to get to today on the show, including your comments in the YouTube chat, which is brought to you by Odd Company Brewing and the all-new Nation Beer Everyday Lager. Head to liquorconnect.com. As Liam throws his phone, head to liquorconnect.com. And, I know I just saw that. It distracted the hell out of me. Or go to one of their 2 locations in the Edmonton area. It is the weekend. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Nation beers on the set. Should I take them home? Maybe.
I don't want anything to do with booze
There's a bunch
after
downstairs.
Vegas.
Yeah, there's a bunch downstairs. Yeah, you're still detoxing, AB?
Yes, until the playoffs.
I
No,
took
that
two-
might be a lie. But
I took 2 days off, and it's Amber's birthday tonight, so we're going out for dinner. So I'm good. I'm reset.
he's back.
Yeah, I'm back. All right, let's go to the Super Chats, which, as always, go towards the Ben Stelter Foundation. And these ones obviously coming in love and support of our friend Bruce McCurdy and the McCurdy family. Mistaken Mexican. Here's the donation for tailing Northside Norm last night. Glad to see Brown finally get a goal. A win is a win. Play La Bamba, baby. Cup year. And as Bruce would say, and it's kind of becoming the Oilers Twitter mantra and the motto heading into the playoffs, never in doubt with those Edmonton Oilers. And I love this from Bruce's son, Kevin. So $50 to the Ben Stelter Foundation in Bruce's name. Love that as well. Hockey Jockey dropped in a $1.99 super chat that we'll talk about in a little bit. We'll get to that. But thank you guys for your donations to the Ben Stelter Foundation. Let's dig right into things, Liam, in that hockey game last night. I should add to people, we are going to be joined by our friend Dennis Bernstein from the 4th period. He lives out in LA. He covers the whole NHL, but he's the LA chapter chair for the Professional Hockey Writers Association. So we love Dennis. We've never had him on the show. I talked to him in person a lot at different events. He's going to join the show in about 13 minutes, I think. I forget what time I asked him for. 11:30. He'll join us halfway through the show. So Dennis will join us later on, but for now, let's do the scoring summary for Oodle Noodle. Download the Oodle Noodle app, sign up for the loyalty program, and you're going to get 1,500 loyalty points just for signing up. That's a $15 value. Last night, the Oilers get on the board first against the San Jose Sharks when Connor Brown, and I know everyone made the joke, damn it, he looked like Connor McDavid. A great little reset here. I love this, just picking up speed in the neutral zone. Look at that. Bang, crossover, pick your spot, find the seam, and he makes this easy, flipping it over the glove of Georgi Romanov, who actually played pretty good last night.
Yeah, he did.
But Connor Brown, with his 9th of the season, gets the Oilers on the board, and that is a guy, Liam, who he needs to get hot over these last 7 and really dial into playoff mode if he wants to be in the lineup for Game 1.
Yeah, the Oilers are actually going to have some pretty difficult lineup decisions to make. I think someone's going to be out the lineup who maybe deserves to be in rather than out, I guess you could say, in comparison to what a healthy scratch is supposed to be. But, yeah, a good goal by Connor Brown. Like you said, hopefully he can kind of pick it up here. What's he at now? 9 goals on the season.
This is
pretty good for for someone who's played third line most of the year. Like, you get 10 out of him, 10, 11. I think you're relatively happy with the season he had, no?
Yeah, I mean, $1 million, right? And I know you can talk about the bonus and all of that. That was 2 years ago. Yes, it's on their books right now. I get that it's annoying you need to pay him that bonus, but still, at the same time, I'm not going to sit here and criticize Connor Brown for a bonus he signed 2 years ago. He came back this year for $1 million because he wanted to run it back with this team. He's got 9 goals, 26 points. I would have loved to see him really bust out of things and finish with 16, 17 this year and be like, damn, that's the Connor Brown we wanted last year. And, for him to maybe even turn into what you'd call a super bargain this year to make up for last year would have been great. But still, I'm not going to sit here and roast him too much. He should be able to get to double-digit goals on the season. For $1 million, you don't complain about double-digit goals. So Connor Brown gets the Oilers on the board. It's 1-0, and then pretty shortly after, just about 90 seconds later, a little under 90 seconds, actually. Was it? I can't do math. Point is, the Sharks tie the game. Not going to blame Pickard on this one. A little bit of lackadaisical zone coverage. Someone wasn't up on the point, Podkolzin. And, that was Jack Thompson who hammers home that one, 4th career goal. That happens, whatever. I didn't have a massive problem with this goal.
No. Pretty good shot by Thompson as well, to be fair. He didn't look that pleased about scoring, though, which was odd. But, they just got him from Tampa Bay, I think, in one of the recent trades. Anthony Duclair trade, that's the one it was, who in the news recently. But, yeah, you would have liked to have seen better coverage on this, especially how quickly you just scored before. Not ideal to give this up. And when you see that, too, you're like, come on.
I think maybe the Oilers were thinking, floodgates are opening here, let's go.
Yeah. And then this is a response. They didn't really play that well.
No, they didn't. The first period was a little bit more back and forth than I would have liked. Second period, Oilers get a power play, and it's Viktor Arvidsson, 3rd goal in 3 games. He is now up to 13 goals on the season. If you prorate the pace he's on over 82 games, he's like a 17, 18 goal scorer this year. considering the prolonged slump he had, really impressed with how Arvidsson seems to be turning on the Jets. And again, basically all 3 of these goals over the 3-game stretch have been good reminders of like, holy shit, he is highly skilled. Like that shot there, taking that puck to the net against Vegas, I thought was impressive. The one-timer from where he was against Calgary, and this is just a rocket of a shot. It's like, okay, this guy still has that 30-goal Viktor Arvidsson in him a little bit. So a nice finish here, a good setup, and again, just a beautiful shot.
6 goals in his last 16 games with no assists, which I think is very funny. But he is stepped up in the absence of McDavid and like even Draisaitl too, obviously. Like he's done really, really well and shooting from good areas now too. Like he's not just like, oh, I'm coming down the boards, the net's in my peripheral, like let's give it a go.
No, he went right between the circles there.
It was awesome. Yeah. And also too, I took an opportunity on the power play. Like Jeff Skinner was banged up slightly, obviously came back. But yeah, took his opportunity and ran with it. Good goal.
Yep. San Jose would tie up the game about halfway through the period. Tyler Toffoli's 28th of the season. That's turned out to be a great signing for the San Jose Sharks, as that sort of that kid line plus Toffoli was working well. This is some pretty slick puck movement. Didn't love Evan Bouchard on this one because he just doesn't take a man and kind of floats in the middle. If you're going to float in the middle, you got to break up that pass. Yeah. So a bad read by Bouchard ends up in the back of the Oilers net. I mean, there was also a little bit down here, like, again, don't hold that puck in. All 3 forwards caught below the dots. You let the Sharks skill guys have a bit too much space, and then Bouchard doesn't pick up his guys. So, didn't love that one either. But, again, it was the Sharks. They should have won this game 5-2.
There's very few players on the Sharks that can actually cause you problems. Unfortunately for the Oilers, this is
all 3 of them were on the ice?
Yeah, at one time. Mario Ferraro, multi-point game for your buddy.
Yep, shout out to Mario.
So
Henry Thrun was quiet.
Did have 1 hit.
Did he?
That
is
was
that his
noticeable.
stat line?
I don't even know. I just remember him saying, like, what a hit by Thrun. And I thought, who is that
They
guy?
didn't credit him with a hit.
No?
He got credited with 2 giveaways.
Well, what a night.
Shout out Henry Thrun.
Do you know who he was? Like you said, Romanov actually played pretty well yesterday.
Yep.
He did well. I know, I think it was Gord put in the chat before, is like Oilers versus rookie goalies. Can you name a worse mismatch than was in the craps table?
Also, shout out to Ryan, who put in a never-in-doubt $20 donation to the Ben Stelter Fund in honor of Bruce McCurdy. So thank you, Ryan, for that one. Last goal of the game. The game winner actually comes in the second period here, where Jeff Skinner finds the back of the net for the first time in 5 games. Jeff Skinner, by the way, now up to 15 goals on the season. Wouldn't be the least bit surprised now if he finishes with 18 or 19, and it's kind of like, hey, considering where this season was at some point, the fact that he's now even turned this into a 15-goal campaign.
Yeah.
Back in December, that did not feel like it was going to happen at all. But Jeff Skinner has a good nose for the net, gets to a good spot, and gets rewarded with, call it a lucky bounce if you want, but this is one of those things, Liam. Remember we talked about this 3 weeks ago. The Oilers were not creating traffic. They were not going to places where they could get second chance opportunities, where they could get these lucky bounces. If I'm Chris Knobloch, I'm watching a guy like that in Jeff Skinner. Mm-hmm. And I'm going, okay, you show a willingness to go to the net. You show a willingness to hold on to the puck in the offensive zone and make smart plays. Like, why would you not want this guy in the playoff lineup?
Yeah, totally. And I think, too, like, he only played 13:30 yesterday, but that would have been over 15 minutes if he didn't miss a couple of shifts there. And if you look back, it looks like he is being relied upon a little bit more as well. And establishing line mates in Yanmark and Brown, I know it doesn't look like the most encouraging line mates for him, but it works, and that's what matters the most. And I was thinking about this last night after we did you put out the boards of like what the UFA players could look like for the others. I wonder if they would consider it more than they would have like 2 or 3 months ago of bringing him back, and if he would have too. And I don't want to put a money value on it because I don't know what to speculate on it, but like, you spend so much time this season trying to get this guy to like establish player in your lineup, getting him into your system, like, say, hey, Jeff, you want another year? We'll give you 3.5 now, let's just say. And, like, we'll come back. You know the system now. We know we can rely on you. Hypothetically, you have a good playoff run. I think it's probably a decent player to want to bring back. What do you think?
My counter to that would be we did the exercise yesterday, and they're probably only going to have about $4 million if they buy out Evander Kane.
Yeah.
I have a hard time believing Skinner's going to outperform Trent Frederick in the eyes of this organization in the playoffs. I know Mulek says like Arvidsson and Skinner getting hot at the right time would be unreal. And I also think Mulek made a really good point above that when he said Skinner could have easily been a 25-30 goal scorer this year if he was given any sort of opportunity. Absolutely. If Jeff Skinner would have been saddled with McDavid from day one and they would have done what we talked about where it's like, hey, smartest player in the world, elite finisher, figure this shit out. You guys get all training camp in the first 10 games of the regular season. I do think this whole season plays out differently for Jeff Skinner. I just don't see a scenario where he's back next year because if the playoff run goes well, it probably means Trent Frederick plays a pretty big role. And if that happens, they choose Frederick over Skinner every day of the week. And I would too.
I just wonder... I just think back to the Matt Duchene thing. And Matt Duchene had a way better season than what Jeff Skinner's having with Dallas.
30-plus goals.
In his first season, yeah. He had 25 goals, 40 assists, 65. But then he signed another one-year deal for $3 million. Like, I just wonder if he sees it as, like, an environment like, hey, this is my best opportunity to win a Stanley Cup. And, hey, if he comes back again and cap going up, all that, maybe it is $3 million. I don't know. Whatever it is. I could see him as a possibility more than I could have, like I said, around Christmas time.
Yeah, I just don't think the money's going to work. Darian dropped in Never in Doubt Cup year $13.99, so thank you very much for that. We've already raised getting close to $100 today for the Ben Stelter Foundation, so we appreciate you guys dropping those in every day. YouTube chat, absolutely the best. So good vibes here on a Friday. As the
we're kind of burying some here. Did we all think that Matthias Yanmark scored this goal?
Yeah, so there was about a 30-second stretch where I was like, okay, how do I word my tweet? That's the first time this year Matthias Yanmark has used his stick to score on a goalie.
And then he didn't score.
Then he didn't score. It wasn't his goal.
I like that his honesty here when he just goes, no.
I would never. Yeah, sorry to all you Matthias Yanmark anytime goal bettors out there.
Yeah, so for Matthias Yanmark, he still has just 2 goals on the season despite appearing in 73 games. Those 2 goals are an empty netter against Calgary and a shot that went off his elbow a couple months ago.
Great finishes, though.
Yeah, he's had, I want to say, just as many breakaways as anyone else. God bless him. I actually thought he played okay yesterday.
Sorry, on the Skinner stuff, and not to turn this into such a negative conversation, that's why stuff like the Yanmark deal sucks.
Yep. Because that's 1.6 if you would have just treated Yanmark like you should treat every fourth-line player. He's a UFA at the end of this year, and he's not coming back.
Totally. So you take away his money, and you have that Russian fella you said, Maxim
Bershkin.
We do need an oil to the max guy next season, so maybe Bershkin's that guy. But like, there's $2.5 million that you could have given to Skinner, hypothetically again. But you know what I'm saying.
How do you say oil to the max in Russian?
I'm not even going to attempt. A
lot of dead air today, but I like it.
If I turn on my speaker, it'll mess with the audio, so I'm just not going to do it. Okay. Thanks. Shout out to the Naj who dropped in a $20 donation to put us over 100 on the day. Never in doubt, Cup year and F Vegas, which I don't mind that ending part at all because it could be Edmonton Vegas round 1 of the Stanley Cup playoffs this year. It's not quite out of the realm of possibilities as you figure out a bit that we could potentially be running 8 months from now.
This will be huge for us.
Yeah, it'll be really, really big.
Sorry, I was making a poll.
Would you bring back Jeff?
To Russian.
Yep. Oil to the max.
Okay.
I'll sip. Actually.
Oil to the max. Volume up.
Масло до максимума.
Масло
до максимума.
Maslov and Maxima.
Масло до максимума.
Maslov and Maxima. All
All right.
right.
That, let me know.
Get ready, folks. 20
Maslov
goals.
and Maxlica. Get on the board.
In Russian. You got to like do the fucking right. Okay. Let's continue along, Liam. There's obviously a big storyline that I feel like we're not talking about to maybe shelter ourselves, to try to not bring down the vibes here on this Friday. Leon Draisaitl left the game last night in the second period and did not return.
Okay. I understand the concern.
Yep.
I also think, like, 5 minutes into that game, Leon Draisaitl was skating around like he actually didn't want to play anyway.
Think he was a little bored?
I think he just was, like, I don't want to, I will, but he just seemed like it was one of those games where he's like, if I don't play tonight, I'm kind of okay with it. Like, he took a hit from Lingering.
He was getting beat up.
Yeah, but maybe it was, like, the first hit of the game, like, Lingering kind of took him, and then he, like, kicked him. which was a crazy.
There was
thing.
also
Yeah,
a
and he
play
slashed him.
where there was a defenseman on the Sharks standing in the corner, and Draisaitl didn't go to forecheck or start to retreat. He just stood there and then tried to like knock down the puck.
Yeah,
And it was like, yeah, okay, I get what you're saying. That like, Leon's
I
in
think
one of
he
those
did get
moods.
hurt, but
And yeah, maybe you're right. And he had that line the other day. They brought it up on the broadcast where it was like, he'll play hurt when the time's right.
yeah,
So you're right. Maybe he did just kind of put his hand up and be like, you know what? We should beat the Sharks anyways. I'm good.
Do you know what was really bad though to see? And it's weird to me that again, this whole concussion protocol thing only seems to matter for goalies. When he got tripped, my goodness, did his neck snap back and hit the ice hard? Like for me, that would be cause for concussion protocol. Like that looked nasty. That would put me out for months.
Yeah, it did snap back pretty hard. So again, maybe it was just a couple of things. He's sore or whatever, and he's like, you know what? I need to go take it easy because we're getting to a crucial point in the season. But
yeah, like stuff like, oh, this is when he got injured, right? Yeah. Yeah, they showed a couple, didn't they? Him stepping on the puck, the face-off. It just all seemed very, like, innocent, but just a collective of incidents.
yeah, you're right. Again, maybe his neck sore, then his core or whatever, and his groin. Like, people were speculating on all sorts of stuff. He might have just put his hand up and said, I'm done, which, I mean, listen, really bad timing, obviously. Like, that's so... Someone tweeted me, like, freaking nurse. I was like,
What?
What are you talking about? Like, huh? Nurse? What the hell did he do? He put it right in Draisaitl's skates.
That's the play, more.
That's literally the point.
Every game.
Yeah. That was
that's
crazy.
funny. What do you guys think in the chat? I don't think anyone's really disagreeing or agreeing with our thoughts on it. Derek Ryan has requested a trade.
Sure.
That's big. He didn't.
That was just
so
someone in the
big.
chat for the podcast listeners. Derek Ryan actually has not requested a trade.
No, just someone in the chat. Good, but he didn't trip. He got toe picked. LOL. He got tripped hard. Yeah, he did get tripped super hard. That was a terrible miscall by the refs.
Yep.
I don't know. What do you think he'll? I don't think he'll play Saturday, but
I think he might.
I wouldn't be surprised. I think Monday for sure. Saturday's such a big game. Like when he says I'll play through it, like if there's a game this season that you need to play through a bit of something, this is the one. Because even the next one that you can kind of be like, okay, we lost to them already. Hypothetically, like it doesn't matter.
So let's continue along here because we got a few more minutes until our guest for the day. But let me ask you a Sherwood Ford Giant question brought to you by our friends at Sherwood Ford. The Giant Nation Valet service allows you to never visit the dealership again for your routine car maintenance. Find them right in the heart of Sherwood Park or online at sherwoodford.ca. If Draisaitl can't go, who's your call up?
Philp. Noah Philp would be my call up.
Yeah, you're not going back to DR?
No, I think having that little bit of extra speed in the lineup is going to matter. Also, too, would anyone be surprised if they just went 11-7 again? Like they do have John Klingberg on this trip. Does Trent Frederick play? Can he just get pushed forward a day or two? Also a possibility. I saw people speculating if Draisaitl is if the more than what we're kind of assuming here, like. Maybe they just LTIR him for the rest of the season and bring up Kane. Like I don't see Kane as a possibility for
Intern Reese, great idea. Just put Stetcher back on the wing. Totally.
Yeah,
100%. Why not? Just mix that in.
I don't think they'll call anyone up. I think Frederick will play or Draisaitl will play.
Really?
That's my take.
But if neither can go, you're going Phil.
Yeah, the center depth, the right shot centerman in the lineup. You're out your best face-off guy already. Like give yourself a better chance.
So if I were to make a case for Matt Savoy,
okay,
how can I do that?
So you're difficult to do.
You're going Draisaitl. Oh no, not you, Siri. You're going Nuge, Henrique, Yanmark, Kapanen as your centers.
Exactly. That's it right there, isn't it? Like the LA Kings have such good center depth that you kind of need strength down the middle.
Yeah,
like
you're not trusting Kapanen v. Byfield without last change?
Or Kopitar, or Dano. Like, whoever this fourth line guy is, Samuel Hellenius? Go up against him, I guess.
Someone made a good point, Spencer. You can't LTIR him anymore at this point of the season. I think the only guys you could still LTIR are the guys you can retroactively do it to, so you can activate him for game one. Because you got to miss like 24 days or whatever, right?
Oh, well, he could do McDavid then.
Yeah, but I don't think McDavid's missing the whole year.
Echo, I No, that wouldn't work.
I
Good
could
point.
see Ekholm actually, but anyways, I don't think Kane's ready to go, so it's kind of a moot point. Yeah, I think you do have to go Philp and give him one more little bit of runway here. And if that's the case, you go Nuge back with Pod, Colson, and Arvidsson. You go Henrique, I guess, just right up with Kapanen and Hyman. Yeah, I think you just kind of keep everything the same, throw all the centers up a little bit. So put Henrique where Nuge is, put Nuge where Draisaitl is, and then you're going Philp, Perry, Max Jones. Oh, man. That line might only play like 4 minutes, but...
Max Jones will.
Yeah, Max Jones will.
Corey Perry, I could see getting bumped up the lineup.
Yeah, I'd be tempted to do like a Henry. Hyman and Perry just don't work, though. They don't. Every game they play together, they get caved.
I'm thinking maybe you kind of really mix things up, and you that might be too short.
But I don't want to break up Arvidsson and Podkolzin because it's humming.
No, I'm not touching those two because I think even Nuge going up there, that obviously was a trio that played well when it was just Nuge leading the way.
Could you go like Skinner, Hyman, Henrique?
I was thinking something like that. Is that a line that we saw during that period? I think Perry was up there a little bit. Like, Kapanen can go on that third line and just say, hey, like, give me neutral minutes. Like, don't do anything bad. Don't do something good, but don't
That's kind of hard
crazy.
for Kasperi Kapanen to do. Sorry, what was the line you were curious if we've seen? Skinner, Henrique, and Hyman?
And yeah.
Have we seen it yet this year? I
feel like
they played 34 minutes together. The numbers are actually banging. Holy shit. In 34 minutes together, they outscored the other team 3-1. Expected goals were 3 to 1.3, and the shot attempts were 57%.
I remember that happening because we all were saying like how hard Skinner worked for a goal, and then he got scratched the next game.
Yeah. Okay, I'm down for that as a second line, absolutely.
Yeah, that might not be too bad. I mean, hopefully just for one game. Hopefully Draisaitl can just play.
Well, yeah, that would solve a lot of problems is if one of Draisaitl or Frederick are ready. I know earlier in the week they threw cold water on the idea of Frederick being ready to go any game before Monday, but...
Times are changing.
Well, yeah, it's a tough thing because you also don't want to rush anyone back, so it's like, it's tough.
He's a center, though, too.
Yep, good point. He would help you in that
call up.
Kapanen, Jones, Podkolzin. Who boy.
Bakersfield play on Saturday. I wonder if Phil could play both games.
Doubleheader, afternoon and nighttime.
They play at 7 p.m. in Tucson on Saturday.
Yeah, he can make both.
Could make both.
Why not?
We've all been there.
Doubleheader.
We had 3 curling games one day.
And how do we do?
We should have been 3-0, to be fair.
Should have been 3-0. Then we choked her.
We did not. We didn't choke the one.
Well, no, in our game on Sunday, we choked.
Oh, yeah.
We don't need to relive that. My sports life lately has been a lot of choking. Very upsetting. Yeah.
Surprising.
Yeah, I know. All right, we're going to get to the Star Mechanical guest line in a little bit. Aaron will keep me posted on when Dennis Bernstein is going to pop on and join us for a little bit. But why don't we do one big take for our friends at Service Credit Union, Liam? The Service Big Share Contest is back, and it is better than ever. It's your chance to win $1 million just by saving money. Every $500 you save gets you 5 entries into the Service Big Share Contest. And you know what? I think right now is a pretty good time to be saving. So shout out to our friends at Service Credit Union. Your chance to win $1 million. Contest ends at the end of this month. You have less than a month to get in. Service.ca/win for more info, contest rules, and a skill testing question does apply. Liam, you wrote a nice piece over at Oilersnation.com.
I did.
About Stan Bowman and his history with European free agents. What can you tell me?
He's very good at finding them. Him and his staff have done a good job. Obviously, we just saw 2 players sign from, what's his name, Josh Szymanski and David Tomasek.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Or was it Thomas Davisek?
Oh, boy.
No, it's Davis Tomasek.
David
Tomasek.
Yes, you really screwed me over. Obviously, 29-year-old Tomasek, 23-year-old Josh oh my goodness.
Samaneski? Or was it Sam Joshimensky?
They did a good job. And my point is I think it's important to trust Bowman with these signings because you look at his time in Chicago. Obviously, we all know Panarin. Dominic Kubalik, someone the LA Kings actually drafted but never signed, and he was able to bring him over. Also on the list, Pius Suter, Kevin Lankinen, Antti Ranta, Dominic Cahoon, we mentioned him a little bit yesterday. Obviously a bit more of a one and done, but he was a good player. A couple other ones as well. Arvid Soderblom, who's obviously a good goalie right now for Chicago. He's done a really good job of finding these players, and compared to the rest of the league, like there's very few that come over, and he finds them and does a good job with it.
Well, yeah. What's interesting is that his hit rate is just so high. Like, it's not even like in Chicago, you have this long line of guys that, like, didn't work out. And listen, no one the Edmonton Oilers sign is going to be Artemi Panarin. But, no. David Kampf went on to be a good bottom sixer. Yeah. Like, that's, if you can get a David Tomasek or Thomas Davisek, whatever, Thomas Davisek. I messed myself up. But if he can become a David Kampf for you for 2 years, that's a significant add. If Josh Samaneski can come in and give you 2 years of like quality bottom six hockey, like the Oilers are so strapped for money. They're asset poor. They have a very bad system. There is one way to kind of skirt around all that, and it's to find dudes for $1 million playing in Europe who come over and are somewhat impactful pieces. I will say, like listening to Bob last night and all that, and he was saying, Thomas X not coming over here to play fourth line minutes. He's got skill. I feel like we did this song and dance with Nygaard and Haas. Yeah. Like, I'm not going into any of these guys thinking they're scoring 20 goals for the Oilers and playing on the second line next year. That's not happening. But can they be good depth pieces who score you 10 100%. To 12 goals and kill penalties? Why not?
Yeah, and the other couple of players I missed out on as well. Eric Gustafsson, who ironically was an Oilers pick.
Yeah, Jan Ruda too.
Jan Ruda was another one. And like Pius Suter came over, scored 14 goals.
Yeah.
Like these are players that it seems like Josh Szymanski, I think that's his name again. He'll probably start in Bakersfield and then come up. But 6'5", 23-year-old center who's an assistant captain in the DEL, that's a great find.
Are you thinking he can give us some hashtag leadership? Well, actually, the other side of it too is like Bakersfield has no players. Yeah, so someone's got to play in Bakersfield. And
you
year.
Trade all these picks. Yeah, this is how you kind of what's the word like can live with it, I guess.
Yeah.
And you got that other guy from Ohio State,
the Ohio State University.
I can't remember his name.
Let's get to the Star Mechanical guest line for today. It's Edmonton's #1 plumbing and heating company. You can find out more by visiting them online at starmechanical.ca. Whether it's residential, commercial, 24/7 emergency service, they do it all. They do it well. Give them a call if you need help and ask for Red. Or ask for anyone. They're all very qualified plumbers. Let's get to Dennis Bernstein from the fourth period. Dennis, appreciate you popping on the show today, man. Let's just start with this little run that the Kings are on. 5th best points percentage in the last month. What's allowing this Kings team to click so well right now?
Well, this is my debut, Ty, so be kind. Be gentle.
We will.
Defense. And they actually found a second line with Byfield, Kempe, and Laferriere. So there's some depth scoring. Kevin Fiala doesn't make mistakes. No hero plays, no stupid penalties in the neutral zone. And not for nothing. You saw, if you watched the game last night at all in Utah, you see who the MVP is. It's Darcy Kemper, who actually might be a nominee for the Vezina, given his numbers. Not that it won't win it, because certainly Connor Hellebuck will. But it's a defense-first team that's found some depth scoring that never loses at home. So it's been a really good run for this team, and Jim Hill has done a great job coaching this team.
I guess that's kind of where I wanted to go next, was the Jim Hiller thing. Like, it was a hiring that, again, from an outside perspective, I kind of raised an eyebrow when they announced they were keeping him around, because I was like, I felt like this team needed like a real fresh start from what they had been the last 3 years. But what have been the differences from the Jim Hiller coach team to maybe the teams we've seen in the past?
And I'm with Utah. I thought when they lost last year in 5 to the Oilers that he would not continue as the coach. But I guess they were paying Todd McClellan another $5 million this year. So maybe they had to go a little less expensive with respect to Jim Hiller. Well, look, you guys know Todd McClellan, and he was here for 4.5 years. He did a lot of things for my career. So I can only thank Todd for the relationship I had with him. But it was always more tension around the team when Todd was the coach. Then Jim Hiller's got a really good sense of humor. He's more low key. He's more relaxed. And I think that's helped the team. And they went away from the 1-3-1 because when you utilize a 1-3-1 defensively, it's because your team isn't that good. So you're trying to stay in games. And as the team got progressively better from a talent standpoint, the practicality of doing the 1-3-1 went away. Plus the players really didn't like it, especially if you're that back defenseman. Because you have to handle a lot, especially if you're playing a 1-3-1 against Edmonton and Connor and Leon come on a 2-on-1. Like, you don't really want to be the guy in that position. So I think it's been a different approach, a different attitude, a different feeling around the team, and a different with respect to their defense. They went to a 1-2-2 and more aggressive on the penalty kill, which when it's going to be Oilers and Kings round 4 in a couple of weeks, they're going to have to be better on the penalty kill, and they have been because they've been a more aggressive team.
Do you think that's the way it's going to go then, Edmonton versus LA, or do you think LA can still has a chance to catch Vegas? Obviously, Vegas lost last night, so the gap is only 3.
I wouldn't want to catch Vegas. You know why? Who are they going to play in the first round? St. Louis. And to be honest with you guys, and you guys know, look, the Oilers are not the team that went to Game 7 last year against the Florida Panthers. Defensively, they're just not. Okay, doesn't mean he can't win. Doesn't matter. Yeah, my assumption is the Kings. Plus, I think that the 2 games against Edmonton, obviously tomorrow and in 10 days, that's going to decide who's going to be the 2 seed. So I just don't see him, because I don't think Vegas has lost 2 in a row, but I looked at the schedule. I don't think there's enough runway for them to pass. If they do, it'd be great. It'd be the first Pacific Division title the Kings have ever won, believe it or not. But I think, look, let's put it this way. I've already booked the 3rd week of April for the JW Marriott in Edmonton, because I know that's where it's going. And I already had the flights booked.
Yeah, good call. Do you think then, so obviously, 4th year in a row, is this the best LA Kings team the Oilers would have faced out of those 4 teams?
It's the team with the best chance to beat the Oilers, because not only did they get beat last year, they got bullied.
Yeah.
Right? They got no question. And if Vander Kane comes back, you might see it again. Right? But this year they have Edmondson. They have Janot, who's been injured, who hasn't been. It's a tougher team. It's a tougher team. It's a better team. It's a better defensive team. And right now, Darcy Kemper is a major improvement over Cam Talbot or David Rittich, is what the Oilers faced last year. So I just think they're a better team, and they got Drew Doughty back. Not that Drew's the old Drew Doughty. He's not. He's clearly not. But to your question, I think it's the team with the best shot to beat the Oilers, because I think they've improved, and I think the Oilers have regressed from last season.
I wanted to ask you, we were talking about moves that maybe caused us to raise our eyebrows. When we went through the trade deadline period and the only ad that the Kings made was Andrei Kuzmenko, I was kind of like, what? Do they know what's going on? Like, what did they miss on something else? But he's playing top-line minutes, 10 points in his last 10 games. How's Kuzmenko looked since coming over from the Flyers?
I'm with you, Ty. I thought they needed to I thought that should have been their secondary move. Like get a Brock Besser or a Carl Palmer, a proven goal scorer. Not that, Kuzmenko in his first year scored 39 goals. But when I looked at his numbers when he came over from Philly, he had 52 shots in 45 games this season. And the one thing the Kings don't do is shoot enough. I'm like, okay, so you're going to get another facilitator, but he's worked magic on the power play because he's shifty. He makes great moves. It's galvanized both Kopitar and Kempe. It's revitalized that team. I didn't think it would be this successful. I really didn't. There's just more movement on the ice. And if you watch the Kings power play for, 60 games, they just stand there and pass the puck around. They don't really have a bumper guy because nobody wants to play in that middle. But when he came in, he just added a dimension they did not have. To some extent with Kevin Fiala, because Kevin Fiala is that type of player. But he's been nothing but great for this team. I'm surprised. Now, does he have to keep scoring? I think so, because I still think they're a winger short to be a true championship team, because they don't have to. They have 2 30-goal scorers, basically. It's good. Kempe's already hit that mark, and the next one will be for Fiala. But, yeah, I was surprised at not a major move and the success that Kuzmenko's had, because it surprised me as well.
I wanted to ask you about someone who's now playing as an Oiler, but you would have obviously covered for the last couple of years, in Viktor Arvidsson, who really battled some inconsistency issues earlier in the season, but he's starting to score now, and he's scoring in some different ways too. Was he always this streaky of a scorer, and also did he always fall down this much in LA?
Yes, he did. Yes, without question. I can, without question, say he fell down a lot. Not as much as Dustin Brown, but he falls down a lot, right? So, look, when he's healthy, he's a shooter. He's a playmaker. He was really a really, really good fit, but his back acted up in consecutive seasons, and I think that's why they moved away from him and went towards getting Warren Foegele. Warren Fogel's younger, a little bit more quicker, but if Victor's healthy, he's a guy you want in the playoffs. He is a guy you can win in the playoffs because he just makes plays and he's not afraid to shoot, and he's tough around the net as well. So, but yeah, I enjoyed my time here with Victor. He actually was one of the Master nominees back, I think last season we made him the Master nominee. If he stays healthy, he can be part of the solution, certainly for the Oilers this playoff season.
And you just talked about Warren Foegele. I mean, he seems to be fitting in really nicely in LA. You talk about sort of the different blend that he brings. He's on that third line right now with Philippe Deneau. But what have been your impressions, I guess, of Foegele over the course of the season? Because in Edmonton, he was almost the same as Arvidsson, where he battled inconsistency and battled consistency issues. But when he's on, it's like, oh, shit, like there's a player here.
How come every single Oral that left the team this year is successful? Why is that? It's not just in LA. I like everybody. So, with respect to Fogle, he's a straight up and down player. He had a partnership with Byfield for a while, and it worked because they're both from Toronto, so they kind of knew each other. He's been nothing but really good, and everybody's jealous of his hair. I think that's the most important thing, is that his hair is really on par with everything. But he's the same player. When things were going good for Warren Fogle in Edmonton, it's been that way for 70 some odd games here in Los Angeles. He's been almost a perfect player. Like, look, he's not on the power play. He scores a ton of even strength goals. He's responsible defensively, and he's a good guy in the room. So I was surprised when they got him. I go, okay, this is a bottom six guy. But, at some point, maybe on a different team, he might be a top six guy. But the middle six role that he's taken on, he's been almost flawless, to be honest with you. So the inconsistencies that you guys talked about in Edmonton just haven't been present this season. Maybe it's because you're playing with Deneau and Moore. Maybe that's the partnership that's on right now. But it's been it's been a great, I know Rob Blake gets banged on a lot because his team hasn't won in the playoffs since they won the Cup. But all the ads he made, Edmondson, Fogle, bringing back Darcy Kemper in a trade that really failed with Dubois, it's all been great. And one of the great moves was getting Warren Fogle here.
I think his performances in the playoffs will determine how bad of a move that was for Edmonton, because last year in the playoffs, I don't think he scored till the Cup final.
Yeah, he was ice cold scoring wise.
But just on last question from me, obviously, I feel like this playoffs is going to be very unpredictable. But if you had to put out a guess and say there would be an upset in the West from the wild card teams beating the top seed of the division, or in the East, who would you put your money on?
I would put my money on St. Louis over Vegas, and got to do it, Ottawa over Toronto.
Ooh, that would be awesome.
I mean,
Montreal.
The Habs aren't going to beat the Caps. I mean, the Caps are regressing a little bit the last couple of games, but I can't think that Montreal's going to raise up and would beat Montreal. But Toronto and Ottawa is going to be a war. It might go 7 games. It might actually help the Leafs if they get out of that round. But I really like the way they're playing, because if you saw the other night against Tampa, Ullmark stood on his head. And the one thing they didn't have in Ottawa that they have this season is a goaltender. So it could be a very dangerous matchup for Toronto if they do win the division.
Well, let me maybe ask you the flip side of that. Like, I know the word fraudulent's a little buzzwordy and maybe a bit of a stretch, but you look at Toronto, Washington, we could call Vegas the Pacific Division winner. You can look at a team like Winnipeg. Is there one of those four that you kind of look at and raise an eyebrow and go like, you know what? They might have had a great regular season, but this is not a playoff deep run style of team.
Well, Ty, what we do here, the top teams, when we look at like the wildcard teams that somebody could upset. When we look at the division winners or the President Trophy winner or the conference winners, we try to poke holes in these teams. So the one thing I could poke holes in both Washington and Winnipeg is no success in the postseason. The only time that Winnipeg went to the Final Four was in 2018. And this group of Washington players have never played a playoff game together. So I don't know. Is Dubois going to be the same guy who's top 10 and 5-on-5 points in the playoffs as he was in the regular season? I don't know. Logan Thompson got hurt in Carolina. Is he going to be the same guy in the playoffs? So I think the one thing, that's that cliche, you have to lose before you can win. Like remember Tampa Bay. They lost. Remember, they got upset by Columbus back in the day before they won the 2 cups. Boston had a great regular season 2 seasons ago, and he got bounced in 7 by Florida. I think the one way you want to poke holes in these teams are not the way they're playing, but can they play the same way and have success in the postseason? That's why there is reservations about those 2 teams. It's not Tampa. It's not Florida. It's not teams that have won before. It's teams that haven't run deep, and there's reasons, And if Colorado and Winnipeg wanted playing in the second round, remember what happened last season? It was Colorado in 5.
Yeah. I'm sure, listen, the offer sheet stuff is something we are absolutely sick of talking about. I'm sure you feel the same way about Pierre-Luc Dubois, but that's looking like a real win-win deal, hey, for both sides.
Well, if they didn't trade for Darcy Kemper, who would be the goaltender this year? Would it still be Cam Talbot? Would it have been, I don't know, Delkovic? Who? It wound up being a great recovery. I won't say it's a great trade because you wouldn't trade Velarde, Kupari, and Iafallo on a pick for Darcy Kemper, right? Yeah. But he's their MVP this year. So Blake got out of a big hole. They've got a great pipeline in goaltending, right? So that's settled. So without Darcy Kemper, they may not even be a playoff team this year, because you can't tell me that David Rittich would put up these numbers, as the number one goaltender. So yeah, it was a great recovery by Rob. Maybe he lucked out because, Darcy was the number 2 in behind Charlie Lindgren last season. So yeah, it was a nice recovery, and they wound up getting a goaltender who, like I said, might be a Vezina finalist.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like making a 40-footer for bogey. You're like, hey, great putt, but it's for bogey.
Saving the bogey, right, exactly. Great analogy, Ty. Great analogy.
Dennis Bernstein from the fourth period, man. Appreciate your time. It was great having you on. We're going to have to do it again during the playoffs because we're going to be seeing a lot of each other, I think.
Anytime, Ty. Great being on Oilers Nation. Thanks for the time. Appreciate it.
There you go. Appreciate Dennis for popping on and giving us a few minutes there. It is, it was great to catch up with him. He'll be in our neck of the woods, too.
Yeah, he's already booked his hotel. If not, we'll just have to go watch the game with him if LA aren't around.
Yeah, maybe.
Come by, Dennis. We'll go to the Vegas game together.
Flights are booked. Northside Norm is in. Wanted to give him some love. He dropped in his $50 donation for the Ben Stelter Foundation. So was busy at work so late logging, but yay, Connor Brown, and Norm follows through with his $50. So again, you guys raised $160 today, I think, now for the Ben Stelter Foundation. That is really, really, really good stuff.
Pretty awesome. Thank you very much.
What's this Marian Hossa guy talking about?
I don't know.
Do we want to ban him?
No, give him a minute. I've never seen him in it.
Let's give him a minute. You cool down for a minute.
Yeah, I don't really know. Someone must have said ban him. He's not been that bad. He just said the Oilers
I thought he was saying be nice.
Yeah, I thought so too. Oh, you might have jumped the gun on that one.
I might have.
It's okay.
Well, he got a 60-second timeout. He's going to be fine.
You'll be fine, Marion. Just don't put on your equipment.
Okay.
You name a bigger mismatch than Marion Hossa and his hockey equipment? Was it the craps tables?
Let's. What do we got? We got a couple more segments to get to today. Hey? How about the menu?
Let's get into the menu.
Well, the menu is brought to you by the Ninja Crispy 4-in-1 portable glass air fryer.
Meet the Ninja Crispy portable cooking system. The power of a full-sized air fryer in the palm of your hand.
That is crazy. Anyways, the Ninja Crispy is an all-in-one system that includes a 4-quart, 6-cup Tempware glass containers and 2 storage lids. The Ninja Crispy is thermal shock resistant and can go from frozen to crispy in just minutes. And with the Crispy Power Pod, you get the power of a full-sized air fryer in the palm of your hands. The 4-quart containers fit 4 pounds of chicken or veggies. You can even cook a personal-sized meal in 7 minutes in the 6-cup container. Max crisp, bake, air fry, re-crisp. It all happens with the Ninja Crispy. You can prep, cook, and store anything from crispy favorites to one-dish meals. Visit their website with the link in our description today and stay tuned for a chance to win a free Ninja Crispy for one of our listeners. Hello. Yeah.
How many times did you just say crispy?
Crispy.
Buddy, that's the point. Those wings are crispy. Make some wings on the show. Actually, a pretty good idea.
That is a good idea. Send us some stuff.
Cooking on the show, maybe a tease for something we're going to plan for later on in the month.
Yeah, I've got some recipes I'd like to throw out there.
Cooking with Liam is something I'm very interested in.
Yeah. Davin Podkolzin is our power pod. Fair enough. The menu here. Last night, we had one team clinch. The Colorado Avalanche are going to the playoffs for the 7th straight season. Cale Makar, first defenseman to score 30 goals since Mike Green in 2009. The Anaheim Ducks are officially out of the Stanley Cup playoffs. 7th straight year where the Ducks have missed.
Good season, though. I will give them their flowers. They were way better, which is positive. 7 seasons. Gregor says a rebuild is 7 years. Doesn't he?
I think so.
Yeah, it's like 7, I think.
So next year, the pressure's on. They got to do something.
They got to push. And they really have to, I think, even if they miss this year, next year, but we're in a spot of, what Utah is in,
Yeah.
Where, you are very competitive pretty much to the end.
Yeah.
And I like their team. I like a lot of their pieces. John Gibson, obviously, what will they do with him this summer? Does he stay? Does he go? Give it to Dostal, but a lot of promise there. I like their roster.
Tonight on the menu, there is only one clinching scenario, and it is for the, when is this? Today's April 4th?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh, that's from a year ago. I don't think there are any clinching scenarios tonight in the NHL. Because it said the Jets could clinch. So you got obviously Washington, Chicago. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Carolina faces Detroit. Carolina's already punched their ticket. Minnie is taking on the Islanders. The Islanders, they don't quite need to win yet, but if they don't win tonight, it's probably over. They won't be officially eliminated, but more or less. Minnie with a win can move back into a tie with the St. Louis Blues for the top wildcard spot, which of course means you play Vegas over Winnipeg. Who would you rather play out of those two, actually? That's an interesting question, I think.
Vegas or Winnipeg?
Yeah.
Winnipeg. Winnipeg have shown a lack of success in the playoffs for many years now. Vegas is 1.
Yep, that's fair. That's fair. Speaking of that first game of the night, 5 p.m. start. It is Washington, Chicago. Alex Ovechkin going for the record. Needs a hat trick to do it. What do you think? It's Chicago. If you're going to do it against any team, it's Chicago.
At home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I would not be that surprised. I don't think he gets a hat trick tonight.
Okay.
Who's Chicago starting? Do they have some random rookie guy who's playing like his 6th game of his career? Oh, no, it's Spencer Knight. That is confirmed.
That
I
changes
forgot
things
Frank
a little bit.
changed that. Yeah, Spencer Knight's been pretty solid for them. What a graphic. I think he doesn't get it tonight, but will get it before the end of the season for sure.
So Frank and I found a bit of an edge. We can actually turn this into our Bet365 segment. Shout out to our friends at Bet365. Breaking news from Bet365, where every nail-biting overtime win is a barn burner, every face-off, hat-trick, power play, shot on goal, every suspenseful moment in between is amazing. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary. Bet365, an official partner of the NHL. Download the Bet365 app. Use the code NATION to get in the game. Must be 19 or older. Please play responsibly. So I went to Bet365. Fired up the goal scorer column for the game tonight.
Yeah.
Ovi to get 3 or more and break the record is 14-1. But if you want to bet on that, go to the futures tab, go all the way down to career regular season goal specials, and you can bet on Ovi to break the record against the Blackhawks, which would be the hat trick, at 16-1.
So just do that.
Just do that. 16-1. It's crazy.
I mean, it feels right.
He's on home ice.
Who do they play as well again this weekend? What kind of their schedule coming up?
They get the Islanders next, and then they're at home right after that. So they go to Long Island, and then they're back on home ice against the Hurricanes. And then they're on the road against Columbus, then at home against Columbus. I just don't get the sense this is going to linger. I think he's going to bang, bang, and it's done.
Retire at the end of the season, call it a day. But
So
no one will be surprised by that.
yeah, the most electric way for this to happen would be they're up 4-1 in the third period or whatever. Ovi's already got 2. They get a power play. They feed it to him. He hammers home a one-timer, and it's like vintage Ovi style.
Yeah.
On home ice, they stop the game. It's a quiet slate in the NHL, so all eyes are on Ovi. That'd be great. The least entertaining way for this to happen is
Empty
he
net.
scores 2 tonight.
Yeah.
They have to go to Long Island, and he scores an empty netter from the other side of the ice.
Yeah.
Scores Islanders challenge. If you're the opposing head coach and you're the Islanders or the Hawks, again, the Islanders by then are probably hooped anyways, so who cares? If you challenge the goal, you're a dick.
There was that moment in the MLB last season, wasn't there, where that Miami Marlins coach didn't do something. Oh, he didn't walk a batter.
He didn't walk Ohtani, yeah.
That was it. Because he wanted to, what was he going to go, 5 for 5 or something?
Yeah.
Like that, right? It's like the game deserved that moment.
Yep.
And I feel like those guys aren't going to do it.
Patrick Waugh, if anyone's going to do it, it's fucking Patrick Waugh.
Yeah,
He's such
whoever
a
the
dick.
coaches of Chicago, that Swedish fella, what
See,
does
with
it
like
matter?
Ohtani, I don't care about regular season records, but this is an all-time. Don't interfere. Don't get in the way.
Can you imagine if Ovi hammered it home on the power play and the Islanders challenged for goalie interference?
Oh my god! Everyone get out the way. Let him shoot. Okay, I'll put $5 on it. Why not?
All right, we're riding. Last up for us today is what's trending for our friends at Douglas Mattress. I had such a good time in Vegas. Circa was awesome. The beds there were good, but it did not quite compare to my Douglas mattress. You can get yours today, douglas.ca/Oilersnation, or their first physical store is open. They're a local Edmonton company, and they have a storefront now in Manchester Square. Great value, starting at only $599 and free shipping across Canada with their convenient mattress in a box delivery. They use eco-conscious materials, and it all leads to you getting a better night's sleep. What's trending? Sydney Sweeney and her fiance broke up.
Oh, I already knew that.
And now she's dating Glenn Powell.
Mm-hmm. In
Crazy.
unrelated news, it's my fiance Amber's birthday today.
Happy birthday, Amber.
We're
Hope you
still
have-
good,
birthday,
Amber.
Amber.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
Yep. Hope you have a great birthday.
So yeah, Sydney Sweeney.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy how that happened. She said she wasn't ready to lock herself down.
Classic.
I mean, she's in love with somebody else.
Is that?
I mean,
Well,
come on, you don't call off a wedding.
Did you watch that movie with her and Glenn Powell?
No, I haven't made my way around to that.
Was
I
it
watched,
hot?
It's the two hottest people on earth. And you're just like,
I
yeah,
did-
they should
oh.
be together.
Speaking of Glenn Powell, obviously in Top Gun Maverick, which was an awesome movie, but Top Gun, Val Kilmer died.
He did die.
That sucked. He was awesome in the original Top Gun,
Batman.
also Batman, and he was in another one too. I'm forgetting. My apologies, but yeah,
He has a documentary on Amazon Prime.
oh, does he?
That's like about his condition or whatever. It's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
He was good in the new Top Gun as well, considering the circumstances, obviously. But yeah,
Iceman.
Iceman. Yeah, yeah, that sucked. What else did What's Trending? You've recorded any of the curling?
No, I didn't.
You should watch. They've been killing everyone.
I'm busy.
Yeah, but it's on in the evening. You should be able to watch tonight. I'm sure Amber will want to settle in, watch
Yeah.
a bit.
Oh, we're going for dinner tonight.
Oh, where are you going?
Wow.
Oodle noodle.
Sure.
No, tell everyone where you're going
Yeah.
for dinner on
Don't
Friday
you all
night.
want to know
Tyler.
where I'm going for dinner tonight?
What else did you have on What's Trending?
Lance, open up your ears.
Amazon stock's down another 4 points today.
Well, that is not shocking. You spelled Sydney wrong in your prep.
Well, that's probably why I don't have a chance with her.
There was something else too. Oh, I listened to your Nation Vacation edition of the Real Life podcast.
Thank you.
It's very good to hear people's perspective when they go on those trips. Like Go, obviously.
Yeah.
Jay. Was Tim on there as well?
Yep,
I think
Tim was on the pod.
there. Right? That was good. Shout out to those guys for putting on the headset and giving you guys some time too. That was cool.
Yeah.
Good dudes.
Great guys. We had a really fun time on the Nation Vacation.
Go coming here at all for the playoffs? Did he mention anything?
I think so.
Nice.
I
I
think
he
that's
had
the
mentioned
plan.
it to me.
Cool.
He
I'm
gave us
glad.
all those medallions again.
Yeah, those ones look sick.
And he gave us poker chips, Oilers Nation poker chips, which are pretty cool. I'm
What
going to
a-
put it in my golf bag.
What a man. Him and the little bro, the best.
Tiger's going to cover the first 5-inning run line.
Sick. Masters is
go.
coming up.
Yeah.
Should we do an ONE Masters pool?
Yeah, we could.
Okay, I'll set it up.
Yeah. I love the Masters.
Should we do buy-in?
Hmm?
Should we do like a buy-in?
You want to do a buy-in with, I don't know if we can do a buy-in with listeners. I think that gets a little hairy.
We could buy in the office and do a ONE one with the people.
Yeah, we could do one with the people and then, yeah.
Okay, I'll
People
figure
can
it out.
play me head-to-head in the Masters pool, $100.
Say in the chat, be like, I
Damn,
love
like,
I
I'm
love the
I'm $3,000 into our Masters pool.
I love the Masters and I want to play in the chat if you're in.
All right.
Something simple.
Sounds good. Jays are about to play. First
Do they
pitch is
play?
just coming up
Oh,
there.
the Mets.
Go Mets, baby. Love
Yeah.
the Mets.
Talked about that one before.
Mhm.
O&R today. That'll be good.
Yep,
I
that'll
have
be
a
good.
poker night tomorrow, actually.
Oh, I didn't know you were a poker guy.
Not really.
Neither am I, but I don't mind having a couple
I
beers
like
with the boys.
playing.
Yeah.
It just
Um,
goes on for too long.
I know.
Yeah, we starting early, so should be good.
hmm
No one said what I asked them to say yet.
I'm doing a Masters draft. That's not what we said, right?
No. Is
No.
a draft different to a pool?
I think so. I think you can do like snake draft style things,
That
which would be interesting.
But depends how many people you get.
Yeah,
you
but
know,
if we did the three of us, then got like a guest fourth person, we could do like snake draft style. You got to pick 6 golfers. That'd be fun.
Ooh, that'd be very fun.
Reese,
Okay.
how much do you know about golf? Put the mic in front of Put the mic in front of Reese right now. If you name 10 professional golfers,
10?
I'll buy you lunch on Monday. Go.
Oh,
You have a minute.
Rory McIlroy,
this is good.
Scheffler,
Yep, Scotty.
Tiger Woods.
Yep,
if that
still-
still counts.
yep.
Sure, we'll
Still
give it
a
to
pro.
you because
Still
you're already
kicking.
on Tiger.
Oh, jeez. Now I'm freaking out. Pressure. Phil Mickelson, obviously. DJ.
You can't help him anymore. You gave him 2, Aaron.
What's the guy that just won the tournament?
Oh, that one tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one guy.
He's Australian.
Oh,
Yeah.
the Australian golfer.
I'll give you Min Woo Lee. You're done, though.
He's from New
Well,
Zealand.
good try, Reese. Better study up before the Masters draft, buddy.
And now you owe Tyler lunch. Marion Hossa wants to play in our
The
Masters
intern
pool.
has to buy Tyler lunch.
I'll do
I don't
10.
make the rules.
Ludwig, Rory, Scotty,
Brooks?
Xander, sorry. Only PGA golfers for me.
Oh.
Max Homa.
Just fired his caddy.
Did he really?
Really?
Cantley, Keegan Bradley, Luke Donald. Shout out Team Europe. What's the Will Zalatoris from Happy Gilmore?
Yep.
Last but not least, Tiger.
You were struggling there for a second.
I was. I was trying to think because all I could think of was live golfers.
Yeah.
Shout out Bryson DeChambeau. We met him.
We did meet Bryson
Great
DeChambeau
guy.
once. Marion Hosta said Kyle Palmieri. Name Canadians. Adam Svensson, Corey Connors, Nick Taylor, Adam Hadwin.
Hadwin, Corey Con. Oh, you
I
said
said Corey Connors. Taylor, Svensson, Hadwin,
Brooke Henderson.
Brooke
If
Henderson.
it's the Masters, Mike Weir.
Mike
Sure.
Weir still pro.
Respect.
Just captain team, the President's Cup team, world, right? Yeah.
Okay, well, it's 1 o'clock. Good job. Good filibustering, boys. Made
Yeah.
it all the way to the end of the show.
That was big.
Tomorrow,
word.
pre-gaming with Boardsy's doing afternoon beers. 1 o'clock start right here on the Oilers Nation YouTube. Post-game right after. Who's with you?
Cam Lewis. Coombsy.
All right, shout out to our boy
In
Coombsy.
studio because it's a big game tomorrow.
I love
Let's
it.
go.
I love it. Will Leon Draisaitl play? Ooh. Who knows? You have to tune into pre-gaming to find out. Enjoy your weekend, everybody. We'll be back on Monday. Oil up.